Is Kimberly Scott from Kimberly Scott Science. I just wanted to kind of show you how this editable form works. I mean, I think most of you will probably be able to figure it out, but you're all busy and sometimes it's hard to take the time to always read those directions. And if you can just click on a video and watch it real quick, then you're set to go. And I'll just give a little bit of background information. So these are reflection forms I had started using really mainly for those kids that no matter what I do, they just keep making some mistakes in the lab. And I didn't want to just be send a note home, parents sign it, blah, blah, blah. I really wanted it to be something that they were reflecting on, because then that way maybe you'll actually see them change their behavior. So if they know what they should be doing versus what they should not be doing, and the fact that just safety is so important. And in my lab, we're doing so many different things. I just needed a way to take that up a notch to really help those kids. So I hope you will find this useful. So what you'll see is here's our terms of use and all of our investigations that we have. So head on over, check them out. I have lots of stuff. And there is clip art in here, and it is set in the background, and it has to be set in the background, and it is not movable. So just remember that the words you can change, but the clip art, to respect the clip artist copyright, cannot be moved. If you're looking for some more tips for your classroom, whether it's a regular elementary classroom or a science lab teacher, I have some blogs and a nice blog about some back to school resources, but we will get to the good stuff on how to do this. So here are the directions right here that take you step by step, and you are currently watching the video. So you can just go through and read this, and it'll take you through everything. With even pages are the black and white versions, and odd pages are the color versions, because if you're like my school, there's sometimes rules on what color we can make copies in and how many copies we can make. Then I also have here some more ideas for to use these. I made these editable because I just know every teacher is different with their teaching style, and you all come up with such wonderful ways to use things. So here are just some other suggestions that you could do. The first one is use it as is, the way I do, with the little envelope in the front. And if a kid has gotten his 3 warnings for the day, I take the piece of paper, I give it to him, and we fill out the reflection. And then the child takes it home and gets it signed. You could also remove that parent signature and just make it an in-class reflection without that stress, so they feel like they can be, as honest as possible. And then you have a discussion with them afterwards. You could foster a little sense of connection in groups and make it a group reflection, or if a whole group struggled that day, they all have to fill that out together. You could also reword it in a way that it is a whole class discussion, maybe a think, pair, share, and you just place it up on the board. And as a class, in groups, individually, they kind of discuss and talk about the questions just to see how they can improve for labs. This is part of our science lab safety and cooperative learning system. So just so you know, it's called Good Lab Practices, that I used modeling a real lab. Absolutely love it. And I have bundled all the different things I use with it. So if you're looking for something really nice and complete that kind of help you get better data, I find my data is much better when I have those group roles and I have this all set in place. This is the bundle. So TPT usually does, if you buy something and then you go and get the bundle, they will reflect that discount in it and reimburse for that. So if you do decide to purchase that, here is the link for it. It is wonderful, and it's got tons of stuff. So the basics, pretty easy on this. So here's the first one in black to white. Why I use this. The first step, it says, is to save your own copy. I always save a separate one that is exactly the way I want it to be. And I just find that so easy to do, because then I have it all set. So I'll just save it to whatever I want it to be. This I'm just doing for a video. You could call it for a particular class, but now I have a new copy of it that I've saved, and then I can go in and type and change on that. If I have certain pages or clip art I don't want to use, I can cut it out so that I just end up with exactly what I want. So I do always save it again so I can do that. And then you'll see here, everything is editable. So Good Lab Practices Reflection, I put that as a title for some. If you're using my whole bundle. That's the term that we use for it. I also have others that I put, I can find one here. And I just said science lab safety reflection. And of course, you can change it to whatever you want that goes with your room. And then the intro paragraph, the science lab is a fun place where we learn and explore. It is very important to listen and follow directions to stay safe. Today, you are observed not following our good lab practices. Please reflect on your behavior by answering the questions below, then have a parent sign it and bring it back to your teacher. All editable, you can change it. Then student's name and date. And then here are the 4 questions. What did you struggle with in science lab today? How did your actions affect the science lab when you weren't following directions? What could you do next time to make sure everyone feels safe and respected in the lab? How will you prevent similar events from happening again? So I know these 2 questions are kind of similar, but I opted to not change them because talking about making people feel safe, and then you're also talking about how you yourself are not going to do that again. How are you not going to run in the lab? What are you going to do to make sure you don't spill or that you don't yell at somebody? And then here is a place for the signature. And again, you can change all of that. So if you don't want a parent signature spot or you want a teacher signature spot, if you want to take that out and just add another question, all of it is editable. So I hope you find that really useful and very easy to do. And then of course, you can always save those as a PDF. And then you have them, and then the clipart, love the clipart. So there's different clipart versions that you can do, and you can choose the one that works for you, but all of them do have the same wording except for the top title where I changed it a little bit just so you could see the different ideas. So thank you so much for purchasing this. Have a wonderful school year with your students, and I hope this helps them to learn good science behavior and that your lab is a safe place.